65 years ago, the world almost ended after a nuclear war. The electric and the international communication networks were destroyed overnight, causing a technological crisis. A botanist and genetic engineer working in the Amazon forest found the Genesis tree, which had a flower that could accumulate an incredible amount of energy. This became the new global source of power, allowing humanity to rebuild. All Genesis trees have remained under government control since then. In the aftermath of the war, 90% of children were born with genetic disorders. To solve this issue, scientists integrated the Genesis flower into the human genome. Now every person is born with a genetic improvement they received in the womb. These genetically improved humans are known as the genetics, and they live like kings. However, 10% of humans suffer from an immune deficiency that makes their body reject the enhancements. They're known as specials and they're considered freaks, so they're only given jobs like cleanup and maintenance in the Genesis Institute. Chloe is pretending to be a student on a class trip while her wheelchair-bound partner, Leon, pretends to be a janitor. When everybody is distracted, Leon uses a device on a locked door that allows him to break into the private area. After checking a map, he notices there are 2 guards nearby, so he sends out a small mouse toy. The guards follow it until they catch it, and the mouse spews sleeping gas to knock them out. Leon takes the guards' keys to access the ventilation system and connects a tank that sends gas through the pipes and puts the scientists in the lab to sleep. Then Leon puts on a mask and tries to enter the lab, but the code doesn't work. He contacts Chloe and asks her to get the right one. In the main lobby, Chloe hears some boys saying that specials should be put down. She picks a fight with them while the other kids egg them on, so a guard quickly comes over to stop them. Chloe pretends she needs help while stealing the guy's notebook from his pocket. She checks the notebook to find the right code and gives it to her partner. Leon finally enters the lab and pulls out an old watch his mother left him to find inspiration in her message. We are all one. We are all equal. He pulls a lever to open the machine with the Genesis tree and uses an old tool to cut a hole in the glass. When he starts cutting off one of the flowers, the tree shoots spikes and the alarm is activated. Thanks to his protection, Leon still manages to steal the flower in a blue capsule with flower extract. A voice announces that the facility will be under lockdown, so everyone needs to evacuate. Chloe tries to wait for Leon, but the guards send her out with the other kids. Luckily, she sees Leon come out just in time. Once outside, Leon pretends to bump into Chloe and make her drop her teddy bear, so he hands it back to her. When the guards check his pockets, they don't find anything except for the watch. They think the message is dumb and call him a freak. A man with enhanced eyesight is checking the students, and Chloe gets to pass because the bear is hiding the flower well. Minutes later, Chloe and Leon watch the news on a big screen on the street. Senator Frank asks citizens for their support because he wants to enable enhancements after birth. This is followed by famous singer Mira, who announces a tour in the special district with free tickets so they can celebrate genetic unity. While they throw out their disguises, Leon explains to Chloe that celebrities and politicians only pretend to care about specials to advance their careers. Down the street, a poor man is kicked out of the food store for being a special. A janitor cleans some graffiti on the window that says, "Death to the genetics." Meanwhile, Myra's manager tells her that things are getting too dangerous. The special district has always been a risky area, and too many people will be attending, so he doesn't think she should do the autograph session. Mira yells at him, explaining that they'll never achieve unity if she doesn't meet people face to face, and refusing to cancel any of her events. When Chloe and Leon try to go home, guards outside the special district check their IDs before letting them pass. While Leon does some shopping, Chloe watches an interview with Frank. He claims that he's found a medicine that will let everyone get enhancements after birth, including specials. Chloe is excited, but Leon thinks it's all lies. Then the duo goes home, which is a workshop where Chloe grows plants and Leon tinkers with devices. Leon extracts the parts of the flower that hold the energy and installs them in the prosthetics of various disabled specials. All these clients pay the duo enough to survive another day. After all the clients are done, they receive a call from a man in the genetic district who desperately needs some repairs done. Chloe tries to explain that they don't do on-site repairs, but Leon takes the job when he hears that the man will pay triple the fee. This makes Chloe freak out since what they do is illegal. However, Leon assures her he won't get caught. The key is knowing the patrol's routes, and Leon already knows all the secret open spots in the walls to cross the area while avoiding the checkpoint. The duo makes it to a fancy restaurant where the cook lets them in through the back door. The cook is a special who wears a mechanical suit that allows him to move despite his disability. At that moment, a gang known as the Anti-Genetics bursts through the main door and cuts down the power. Leon finishes the repairs on the suit, and the cook says he has to investigate, so he asks the duo to wait for the payment. The gang starts destroying the restaurant and beating up the genetics, killing several of them without mercy. Eventually, the room is nothing but broken tables and dead bodies, so the gang starts painting graffiti as well. The cook returns to the kitchen with a bleeding wound and tells Chloe and Leon what's happening before dropping dead. The duo tries to leave, but the back door is locked, so they need a plan. Leon asks Chloe to help him put on the cook's suit. Minutes later, two gang thugs enter the kitchen and only find the dead cook because Chloe and Leon are hiding. While painting more graffiti, they discuss a gig that is happening tomorrow and something big the day after that. A thug has a few ideas, but the boss threatens him with a knife, saying they must stick to the plan. One of them drops a piece of paper, and Chloe picks it up. When they hear the cops coming, the thugs want to leave. Suddenly, Leon loses control of the suit, which forces him to stand up and throws him on the counter. The two men immediately come after him, so Leon fights them with pots and boiling water. In the struggle, the boss's mask moves, and they see his face. Leon gets pushed on the counter, and Chloe jumps in to save him. Then he throws flour to blind his enemies so he and Chloe can run to the exit. Thanks to the suit, he can now force the door open, and the duo finally gets to leave. Outside, Leon struggles to walk in the suit, and Chloe has to help him reach an alley. The police cars pass by and thankfully don't see them. Chloe realizes that the suit's leg took some damage and has to keep helping Leon so they can go home. The next day, reporters cover the incident and release a picture of Leon and Chloe from the security cameras, believing they're part of the gang. They ask for any information on them to be sent to the police. Captain Hughes of the Special Forces says that the Special District is a breeding ground for crime, and they'll be raiding it soon. Leon and Chloe freak out because they recognize him as the gang leader. Chloe pulls out the piece of paper and discovers it's a flyer for Mira's concert with a little map. They realize that the anti-genetics are planning to attack during the event and frame the specials to make them look like the violent ones. A horrified Leon starts packing to leave town while Chloe insists that they should save the people at the concert. Leon points out that there's nothing a paraplegic and a 12-year-old can do, so a crying Chloe calls him out for being selfish and runs away. Leon tries to go after her, but he isn't fast enough. A flashback shows a teenage Leon breaking into his father's office to look at his file and learning that he's a special. His father caught him in the act. After remembering this and looking at his mother's watch, Leon decides he must do something. A few hours later, Chloe comes back and finds Leon working on improving the suit. She helps him put it on, and he tests the enhanced movement while explaining he plans to capture Hughes to make him confess. He grabs random objects to use them as weapons and shows off great strength by bending metal. Chloe notices that the suit has biowires, so she runs to her table to mix some chemical agents that will allow him to arm the suit. Meanwhile, Mira is performing a concert in the Special District. The crowd goes crazy and keeps pushing the fence, so the guards have to push them back. After the concert, she tries to get on her bus when suddenly the guards attack her personal security and her manager to knock them out. The rebels arrive in a truck and start painting graffiti while Hughes tells Mira to behave if she wants to live. At that moment, Leon shows up wearing the suit and a mask to protect his identity. He jumps from a balcony and tries to open fire, but Chloe's chemicals only cause plants to grow in his suit. The thugs laugh while Leon uses the plants anyway. A guy gets hit by gas, and another one is trapped by vines while Chloe calls Mira from a stolen car. Leon starts fighting Hughes and his men at the same time. At first, he manages to land a few blows, but soon the gang surrounds him and overpowers him. Leon defends himself the best he can until Chloe hits one of the thugs with the car. Then Leon gets in the vehicle, and Mira yells in shock while Chloe drives away. They rush home and make sure to close all the doors before the anti-genetics drive down the street looking for them. On TV, reporters said that Mira was almost kidnapped, but a mysterious vigilante helped her, and now nobody knows where she is. She notices that Leon got hurt during the fight and takes care of the wound, explaining she always wanted to be a doctor and help people. Chloe makes a drawing of Leon as a flower hero, and he hates it, but Mira praises it. After Leon tells her what's going on with Hughes, Mira says that she needs to go home because she has a big event tomorrow with Frank at the Family Planning Center. Leon realizes that will be the anti-genetics' next attack. Today they try to get Mira, and tomorrow they'll go after Frank. The gang is probably against the post-birth enhancement project. Mira wants to warn someone, but Leon stops her, reminding her that Hughes is with the police. Instead, they'll make a plan. The next day, Mira and Leon go to the Family Planning Center, pretending to be a couple that wants to have a baby. Mira tells the doctor she didn't tell anyone about her partner and didn't get an appointment because she wants to avoid attention from the media, and Layan convinces him to give them a tour of the place. While they walk around, Layan steals some unsupervised keys. Afterward, he distracts the staff by announcing that Mira will perform for them, keeping everyone safe in one room. At that moment, the anti-genetics arrive, and Layan meets them in the lobby. The thugs immediately attack him, so he shoots some gas bombs that melt their masks before fighting them. At first, Layan manages to defend himself pretty well, but the difference in numbers is still overwhelming, and soon Layan is being kicked on the floor. They manage to unmask him, and Hughes starts repeatedly punching him in the face. They're suddenly interrupted by the arrival of Frank's security team, so the anti-genetics run away. Mira comes out and explains she called Frank to warn him because she knew Layan couldn't fight the gang alone. Layan wonders why the guards didn't go after the anti-genetics, and Frank says that Layan is the only thing that matters to him. It's revealed that Frank is Layan's father, and when Chloe overhears this, she thinks Layan has been lying to her all along, so she runs away. Reporters then enter the lobby, so Frank immediately gets into politician mode, telling them that his son is proof that the disparity between genetics and specials has gone too far. Tomorrow they must vote for genetic unity and stop this madness. The following week, it's announced that Frank's project was met with almost unanimous approval. Buses arrive at the special district to pick up all the poor people who will be sent to a new medical camp outside the city. After everyone is treated, the special district borders will be opened, and the newly enhanced citizens will be allowed to join the genetics. At the medical center, Layan asks about Chloe, and Frank says they haven't found her. When Layan mentions Hughes, Frank changes the subject and says he'll cure his son. Layan points out that when he tried to cure his mother, she died, so Frank apologizes and admits he made a mistake. He reveals that his late wife left a letter for Layan, and he was afraid to give it to him. By the time Frank made up his mind, Layan had abandoned his home. Layan opens the letter and reads a message from his mother apologizing for having to leave the family. She hoped Layan would grow into a fine man, but she was afraid that his hate for his father would harden his heart. She wanted him to learn to forgive because family always stayed until the end. Layan cries but doesn't say anything. Mira interrupts the moment and takes Layan out for some fresh air. While wandering outside, Layan sees Chloe, and they reunite with a hug. Then Layan tells Chloe and Mira that he thinks Frank planned the anti-genetics attacks as a way to get his project approved. They just need to prove it. Chloe gets an idea and borrows a camera from a man with an eye prosthetic. Then the doctors choose the next person to receive the treatment. In the lab, Chloe sneaks into the vents to record everything. Hughes is chatting with Frank, confirming they've been working together all along. As the special is sedated, Frank explains his plan. They extract biomaterial from the donor's brain and mix it with a variant of the gene modification, creating a pure essence that will be injected into the genetics, regardless of age. Frank considers this the next step of human evolution and only cares about curing his son. He's not planning to do anything about the specials and only wants them for harvesting biomaterial. Moments later, Chloe is playing the recording for everyone in the tents, and Mira cries as she apologizes to the specials, explaining she didn't know about this. Layan repeats his mother's message about unity and convinces everyone to fight. He just needs his suit. Luckily, Chloe has stolen the keys to the storage. The next day, Frank and the nurses come to Layan's room since it's time for his procedure. Layan reveals he's wearing the suit under the sheets and quickly captures his father before stealing the essence injection from the nurses. Frank tries to convince his son that he did all this for him, but Layan calls him a monster and leaves after locking Frank up in the room. Layan gets some ammo from Chloe and rushes to the security room. He quickly fights both guards and manages to bring them down, but one of them still presses the alarm button before passing out. Chloe connects the camera to the computer to send the footage to the police, but it'll take her 5 minutes. Before Layan leaves to join the fight, Mira kisses him. In the tent area, Hughes has arrived with his gang. Layan and the specials immediately surround them to start a huge battle. The specials are armed with ordinary things like pots and pipes, but thanks to their numbers, they're capable of keeping up in a fair fight. Layan's suit also allows him to move fast and take on multiple men at once. Unfortunately, Hughes calls for backup, and soon more men arrive with firearms. While many specials get shot down, Layan fights Hughes one-on-one. After some struggle, Hughes brings Layan down, forcing him to run away. In the security room, a man grabs Mira by the neck, and Chloe isn't strong enough to help her. Thankfully, a special rushes in to knock the guy out just in time. At that moment, the computer finally uploads the footage, and Chloe contacts the police. Back to Layan, he desperately crawls to the lab, but Hughes follows him and keeps beating him up. As they fight all over the tables and the control panel, Layan uses the chance to open the machine with the Genesis tree. Then he shoots a projectile at its glass to crack it. Hughes grabs Leon to hit him a few more times and throws him against the tree machine, which finishes breaking the glass. When Hughes is about to kill him, Leon rips off a flower, and the tree shoots the spikes, which stab Hughes in the face and bring him down. Eventually, the police arrive and arrest all of Frank's men. They also find the syringe with a pure essence. Chloe and Mira rush to check that Leon is still alive, and Leon and Mira share another kiss. The following week, the news talk about Frank's secret plans, explaining that people were saved by a masked vigilante. Rumors said it was Frank's son, but authorities deny it. Unfortunately, Frank himself has escaped. In response, the government has ended segregation policies, and now everyone is free to travel between districts. Mira has received damage to her throat, so she can't sing anymore, but she's happily dating Leon. From the shadows, a deformed Frank watches his son. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you can watch more videos like this. Thanks for watching.